Mom sold my college fund to buy a new car for my brother. She called it a family decision. I just stood there, holding the acceptance letter that suddenly meant nothing. In my family, love always came with an asterisk. I was the planner, the fixer, the one who remembered birthdays and kept everyone from falling apart. My mom said I was the responsible one. My brother, Ethan, was the dreamer. That was her nice way of saying he never faced consequences. When Dad passed away, I was 16. I got a part-time job at a coffee shop to help pay bills. Ethan was 21 and spent most of his days figuring things out, which apparently required long naps and expensive sneakers. Still, I didn't complain. I told myself he'd grow up eventually. Mom said he just needed time. Time stretched into years. Every dollar I saved was sacred, not because I was stingy, but because it was my way out. I wanted to study architecture. I wanted to build something that lasted, something stronger than the chaos I grew up in. Mom always told me, "Don't worry about the future, honey. We'll handle it as a family." And I believed her. Until I learned that, in our family, handling it meant I would lose something every time. For 3 years, I worked every weekend, every summer, every break. I even skipped nights out with friends because I was obsessed with one goal: saving enough to pay for college without loans. I had exactly $18,400 in my account. I knew the number by heart. That account was my lifeline. When my acceptance letter came from the University of Michigan, I cried. I held the letter against my chest like it was proof that I'd done something right. Mom hugged me tight and said, "I'm so proud of you, baby." Ethan barely looked up from his phone. That night, Mom said she wanted to take me and Ethan out to celebrate. She was glowing, that fake kind of happiness I'd seen before, like when she was hiding something. Halfway through dinner, she dropped it casually, like it was nothing. "By the way, I made some financial moves to help Ethan get back on his feet. He got approved for a car loan." Ethan grinned, sipping his soda. "Yeah, finally getting my own ride." I smiled politely, trying to ignore the pit in my stomach. Something didn't feel right. The next morning, I logged into my bank app. Balance, $54.27. My throat went dry. I refreshed the page. Same result. I clicked through the transactions, and there it was. A transfer. To Mom's account. I ran into the kitchen, heart pounding so hard I could barely speak. "Mom, where's my money?" She looked up from her coffee like I'd asked about the weather. "What money?" "My college fund. All of it's gone." Her face didn't change. She took a slow sip. "I used it to help your brother. He needed a car to get to his new job." I stared at her. "You what?" "That was for school. You had no right." "Don't talk to me like that," she snapped, eyes flashing. "Family helps family. You'll thank me later when he's stable and paying you back." "Pay me back? He doesn't even have a job yet." "He will. You always think the worst of him." I couldn't breathe. "You promised that money was safe." She stood, towering over me. "Watch your tone. I'm your mother. I've sacrificed everything for this family." "By stealing from me?" I whispered. She slammed her cup down. "Don't be dramatic. You'll get scholarships. You're smart. He needs a chance." Ethan walked in, holding his car keys, my future dangling from his hand. "Hey, don't make this a big deal," he said with a grin. "Mom's just trying to help." I wanted to scream. But all I could do was stand there, trembling, while my brother drove away in a car I'd unknowingly paid for. For the first time, I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I just went quiet. That silence scared her more than shouting ever could. I started working double shifts again. Every cent went into a new account, one she didn't know about. I got financial aid, wrote essays, called counselors, and refused to quit. At home, things got colder. Mom tried small talk. I responded with one-word answers. Ethan kept pretending I'd get over it. But I wasn't planning to. I was planning to leave. A few weeks later, I discovered something that changed everything. The car wasn't in Ethan's name, it was in hers. She hadn't bought it for him, she'd bought it for herself and told him he could borrow it. That night, I printed out every bank statement, every transfer record. I left copies on her nightstand with a note. I hope the car was worth it. You sold my future for a steering wheel. The next morning, she came into my room in tears. You think you're better than me? You think I don't deserve nice things after all I've done? I looked at her, Tom. I think you should start doing things you can afford. She didn't have an answer for that. A month later, I moved out. I got a small apartment with peeling wallpaper and a view of a parking lot. But it was mine. Every creak, every cold night, mine. Mom called nonstop at first. Then came the guilt trips. You've broken this family apart. I only did what I thought was best. You're punishing me for being a mother. Each voicemail felt like a test, and for once, I wasn't failing it. Ethan showed up once, trying to smooth things over. He looked awkward, holding a grocery bag like a peace offering. She's really upset, you know. Good, I said. Maybe she'll finally feel something real. He sighed. You've changed. Yeah, I said quietly. That was the point. The final confrontation came on a rainy Sunday. Mom showed up unannounced, soaked and trembling. She looked smaller than I remembered. I sold the car, she said softly. Here's some of the money. I want to make it right. She handed me an envelope with $3,000. I looked at it for a long time, then set it on the counter. Keep it, I said. You need it more than I do. Tears filled her eyes. You're really just going to walk away from your family? I met her gaze. No. I'm walking away from manipulation. She didn't understand the difference, and that's how I knew I was finally free. 6 months later, I started college. Not my dream university, but one that gave me a full scholarship after hearing my story. My apartment smells like coffee and lavender candles instead of guilt and cigarette smoke. Sometimes, I catch myself wondering if Mom ever looks at my empty room and realizes what she lost. Ethan texted me last week, a single line. Mom says she misses you. I typed back. Tell her I miss who she could have been. Then I deleted it. I don't need to send it anymore. The peace I wanted didn't come from fixing anyone, it came from letting go. Now, every time I see a new building rising from the ground, I think about what it takes to build something solid: foundation, patience, integrity. And I smile, because those are things no one can steal. Sometimes, the only way to heal is to stop being the one who holds everything together, and start holding yourself instead.